Good evening, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1628 Killarney Street here in West Lynn. We're located at the rear of the home. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout down here right next to the foundation wall. Again, this is on the back side of the house. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. And I'll zero out the camera length counter right here at the base of the cleanout. Yeah, back there does not appear to be roots or anything like that. Looks like maybe some cobweb and possibly a leaf got down the cleanout somehow at some point. Kind of looks like a leaf stuck there on the side of the pipe. Hey, transitions here. Assuming the main line is 3-inch like the cleanout is, we have 3-inch pipe here transitioning over to, it looks like 4-inch concrete pipe. I'm not seeing much of a diameter change there. In fact, it's entirely possible we may just have a 3-inch cleanout here and this is 4-inch ABS. Either way, it does not appear to be 6-inch concrete. Alrighty, here at 72 feet out, we do have a root intrusion. You can see when I'm right up close. When I pull back here at top there, it looks like it may have been cobwebs, but it definitely is root strands coming through. When you're right up close here at the joint, you can clearly see all the root strands coming through there. And they're growing down the line there a little ways, growing almost 360 degrees away around that joint there. I will, this looks like it's here at 73 feet on the dot. Now obviously the roots are not currently affecting the flow. They're not obstructing the line at all, but I still recommend they be repaired. And I'll try and locate, yeah, you got some big root strands coming through there growing way down the line. Another root strand here at 76 feet coming through. Pretty large one. More roots here at 79 feet. And more roots here at 82 feet, or about 83 feet actually. That one's growing outstretched into the pipe there. none of which are currently affecting the flow. But obviously, given time to grow, most roots can at some point block the flow of the line. But I generally don't ever recommend just drain cleaning them. Drain cleaning, jetting or augering will remove them temporarily, but they're always going to come back. That's why I recommend repairing them so it's fixed for good. Now, this being concrete pipe, we have joints where we have roots. There's joints where there aren't any roots. Concrete is such that as it ages, does deteriorate. So we have the joints there that do have roots in them. However, all the other stuff is still in good condition and functioning at this time. But because it is concrete, it does open it up to the possibility of roots coming in the future. That's an impossible thing to predict. It's entirely possible that roots will never intrude anywhere else in the line again. So for right now, we'll get this drained out here so I can take a better look at exactly what joints have roots in them. But I'm going to recommend just a spot repair to correct the root intrusions there. They seem to be in a pretty consistent, confined section of the pipe. Anyway, here at 103 feet, I can't remember if I mentioned it yet, but 103 feet out here, we have reached the main lateral. I'll do locates to verify where this is at. Actually just going to reel back here in a moment and locate at the root intrusion. That'll let us know which direction this pipe's headed out. Alright, line should be all drained out at this point. And right here at the very end of the line, now that the water's drained out of there, we may have a root intrusion all the way out here at the end of the pipe. This is a really hard one to tell because that could be some other kind of debris that's stuck down there. Because it's sitting in the flow line like that, we don't have a great view of that. That one I'm not able to confirm, unfortunately. You can show that to the city. That's right at the connection to the main lateral there. I don't know if they would take a look at that and see, but that one is really hard to tell. You just can't get a good three-dimensional view of it. It could be just about anything that's sitting there in the flow line. And it kind of looks like it's coming out of the joint there, but again, we just don't have in my opinion, don't have enough good enough view there to say yay or nay that is for sure a root intrusion. It is entirely possible, though, given the fact that we have roots coming through other parts of the line. This one's less likely, being that it was probably out in the road. But anyway, 103 feet there, that is a possibility. I think that's worth getting a second set of eyes on to try and confirm that. That's a tough one. Yeah, we may have a root all the way out here at 96 feet. You can see the strand sitting in the flow line there. Looks very similar to the root intrusion that was out at the main lateral connection. Again, it's without it dangling in the air, it's a little harder to tell what they are, but it's another brown stringy strand protruding out from a joint. And I'll reel back here, but you'll see that the color of that root there is very, very similar to our roots further back. So it does look like, so if we've got roots out here at 96 feet, most likely at 103 feet there, that is a root strand coming through. These ones are a little harder to discern. Now, if you start getting root intrusions throughout the line like that, I would recommend, instead of doing spot repairs, to do a liner on it and line the whole section of concrete here just to seal off what roots have come through and then any more that may come through after that in the future. Again, it's hard to gauge if that will happen or not, but it's very possible. I'm not sure we actually have a root coming through here at this joint. We have roots coming through the joint right prior to it, and I think they're growing down the line and just growing across the joint here. It's a tough one to tell. You could have roots coming through the bottom there, but I think the roots are actually coming through the joint behind this one. So anyway, we've got stuff here. It looks like we may have roots all the way out to 103 feet. I'm going to try and locate this spot here in particular, but if you're doing a liner, the location isn't all that important. I was having some difficulty locating there. What it looks like the line's doing is going way the heck down the street. I just picked up a signal there in the middle of the road, but probably down almost in front of the neighbor behind this. It's traveling down the street a ways before it hits the main. So a lot of these roots are going to be out in the road. And my locator's, it's not even able to get an accurate locate there. It's saying it's below 15 feet. So I would definitely contact the city in this circumstance. Yeah, like this one here, that's a huge root there just growing way down the line. And I'll pull back here to where I find the furthest out root intrusion. I'll just locate that. Because so much of this is under the street and the rain, with the rainstorm we're having right now, I won't be able to, none of my markings will last. But as much of this is under concrete, you're definitely going to want to look into doing the trenchless repair. Might have a root coming through there at 62 feet. Looking right at the flow line there on the left side of the screen. It looks like we may have some kind of strand poking out of the joint there. That could be an earthworm. A lot of times earthworms will tunnel their way into the line there and they kind of look like roots. But you'll see at some joints you'll get some kind of stuff that looks like it's almost oozing through the pipe joint. It's from the earthworms crawling in through the joint and it pushes the dirt in. I have some separation in that joint there. It's not terribly significant. A little bit of separation there too, but again, it's not a gaping joint. Well, as far as I can tell here, it looks like our root intrusions, that we have the one at 62 feet, that's kind of the one, well, it may be an earthworm. We'll come back up here and see if it's a worm that's moved out of the way. It looks like our furthest out root intrusion is at about 70 feet out. Yeah, you can see that worm, it is a worm. It's crawling down the line, it's moved there. So not a root coming through. We do have some, the pipe itself is showing some age. It's still, even with the roots in there, functioning very nicely. It still has good flow throughout. So anyway, from here at 72 feet out to 103 feet, I recommend doing a liner on to seal off all the pipe joints, get all the roots out of there. Again, this is going to be out in the street area. I'll try and locate this spot here. At 62 feet, or from everything from here back, we still have original concrete pipe that is susceptible to further root intrusion because of the type of pipe it is and its age. But at this time, we obviously don't have any roots from this point back towards the house. So what needs to be done here is at least a spot repair here from 72 feet out to 103 feet to correct the pipe that has the roots coming through it. Anything else is just to further update the line, which is going to provide it longevity down the road to fully update all the concrete. Alright, I was able to pick up a signal here, still out in the middle of the street. It's just down from the island in the middle of the road, and that's where all the roots are coming from. There's a bunch of trees growing in the middle of the street in an island. Anyway, I recommend having locates done by the city. If you're going to do a trench repair, I would suggest doing a trenchless repair since the whole thing is probably 15 feet plus deep under the concrete. It's going to save a lot of money to do that. So anyway, from 73 feet to 103 feet, I recommend doing a liner to update that section. That will seal off what roots are there currently, keep them from coming back. All this other concrete pipe It's still original. Again, it's still susceptible to further root intrusion. It's original and kind of old concrete. It's still working great. The spotless line drains out very nicely. But again, you're still going to have some original concrete in there, so keep that in mind. If you live in the house long enough, it's possible you may need to update the other section. It's very hard to predict that. So that's why I'm not recommending a full replacement of that concrete section there. It's just not needed. Now I'm looking at this spot right here as I'm coming back. Right, this looks like a test tee. And a little bit of kind of dirt looking stuff here. I really don't know if that is roots there or not. Kind of poking through those joints. That would definitely have a second set of eyes look at. It almost looks like teeny little roots coming through, but I mean, you could have excess pipe glue or something else that's popping through there and causing that. There's just not enough there right now to say it is roots or not, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera on out of the line here. And currently, because the roots are not affecting the flow at this point, the line does have good flow to the main and is functioning at this time. If something's not done about the roots, they will cause a problem. And already are. A lot of those root intruded joints there are probably letting some water escape the line. I recommend a rescope after the repair is done to ensure that it was done correctly.